Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Wednesday, December 1st, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. New month, new me, am I right? Let's use December to turn this losing train around here. The month of November didn't treat us particularly well with Innistrad Crimson Vow. So hopefully December turns a new leaf, am I right? We'll go ahead and re-queue here, I guess. So thanks so much for checking out the channel as we wait to get into this draft here. Wow, that was the quickest queue I think I've ever seen in my entire life. All right, and here we are. So Dorothea was our pack one pick one and the only trophy draft on the channel. And I really like playing blue-white. I think it's one of my favorite decks. It's one of my best performing decks. I doubt Dawn Heartgeist could wheel, but if it does, that would be amazing. Even in blue-white, there's a Spirit, a Grave. I'd play a Heron of Hope. Armed Cathars is fine. So there's a lot of cards that could wheel out of this pack by taking Dorothea and pack one, pick one. So I think we're just going to go ahead and slam that and move on. Awesome. So here we've got Heron Geist, Lantern Bearer. Those are the two interesting cards. I think it's a pretty easy Lantern Bearer here. Would like to play a Geist or two, but I think we can get those later. We're going to go ahead and lock up a Lantern Bearer here and pick two. Pretty good start to a draft here, especially a blue-white one, right? Follow it up with a pretty easy Traveling Minister. As far as the other colors have gone so far, I mean, Oakshade Stalker, fine, not great. Hookhand Mariner, okay. Kessig Flame Breather in certain decks, but I'm really liking this blue-white start. I really do like Traveling Minister, and I'd love to wheel a Heron of Hope to get that combo going. It's not something I've ever put together in this format, but it seems like it is very, very powerful. Because if you have a Minister plus a Heron of Hope on the battlefield, and you give it lifelink, you gain 6 life per turn, which is a pretty big swing. Right, so we'll go ahead and slam the Traveling Minister. All right, here, not great options for many people. There's a Chill of the Grave and a Supernatural Rescue. I think it's between these two options here. I'm going to go ahead and cut white. Chill of the Grave might be better for our deck. We've already seen one or two going around. They could come back. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut our neighbors out of white completely to give them the signal that I want to be white with my first two cards here. We may or may not even play the Supernatural Rescue, but we'll see. Awesome, great, another Lantern Bearer pick here. Pretty easy. Not only the best card for us in the pack, but I think the best card in the pack in general. So that makes this an easy pick for us. We have a Spirit, a Nurturing Presence, and a Scattered Thought. So I think Spirit is going to be something we'll be able to get. There was one in our opening pack, and I wouldn't be shocked if it wheeled. I'd like to get my first Scattered Thoughts here, though. This pack, a little less exciting. Don't want the Monstrosity. Trainee doesn't work very well in this deck. The Beguiler I haven't played or played against, but maybe it's playable. I think this deck is going to end up a little crowded in the 5 and 6 drop slot, so I'll just take the Retrieval here, but I'm not really looking to play many of these cards. This pack, on the other hand, has a Cruel Witness, and I am excited to play that card. +1/+0 on Vigilance, and when it dies, return this to the battlefield under their control where all their creatures enter the battlefield tapped. I've had this cast on me once and it was decent because they were an aggressive deck. I don't know if we're looking to be that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and take my first Cruel Witness here, though. So we got the Geist and the Spirit back, which is great news for us. The Geist really means that blue-white specifically is likely open, and the Spirit is a fine card I'd put in a blue-white deck. So let's go ahead and take the Geist first. And we got the Heron Blessed Geist back as well. Lots of Geists in this deck. I think we need the Rescue in the main deck right now. So let's go ahead and take Heron Blessed Geist here. Fear of Death, Beguiler, or another Rescue. Don't think we need a second Rescue, especially not at this point. Enchantment Aura works well with Dawn Heartgeist, but we're putting it on our opponent's creatures, so I don't know if I'd play it, but we'll go ahead and take it. We'll cut blue out of this pack here, cut white out of this one, and this card doesn't matter. So here we are in pack 2. Looking to lock ourselves in blue-white. I don't think there's much that can push us off of it. Glorious Sunrise is a beating of a card. We had this a couple times. Didn't really get to play it a lot because it kind of stayed in our deck and not in our hand. But it is a very good card. But green is awful. So we don't really want to be moving into green for this necessarily because we're pretty locked into blue-white with another Lantern Bearer here. Unfortunately, on the wheel, the only thing we can really hope to see is a Ceremonial Knife. We are playing best of one here, so Sanctify is unplayable, but Ceremonial Knife on the wheel wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Ballista Watcher being another really good card in this pack, but I think we're just going to go ahead and slam the Lantern Bearer here. And immediately rewarded with a Catilda here. Alright, so 3 mana flying lifelink. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of spirits and or enchantments you control. It has pro vampires, and then you can disturb it for 5 mana to give another creature that as well. So very easy Catilda. Would love to wield a Kindly Ancestor here. Syncopate's fine. Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and slam the Catilda. So in this pack we have Imprisonment and Chill of the Grave. I think we'll take our first Imprisonment here. Dying to Serve, making its way around the table. I think we opened this pack one pick one yesterday and decided to pass it. I'm not sure how good it is in this set. But we'll go ahead and take our first Imprisonment pretty easily. Lots of blue-white here. Escort, I don't think is for us. We're not looking to be on the +1/+1 counter train. There's a Mischievous Catgeist, but I've been less than impressed with this card. I mean, you really want to be basically pitching it to something, maybe a blood token, and then putting it on a flyer. Don't want Ambush, not Adamant Will, not Griff Rider. I think I'll take the Spirit. And maybe we wheel the Catgeist, and I'd probably play it if it wheeled, but I don't think I need to take it this early, as it hasn't been particularly impressive. So here we have a Shield Basher, Vampire Slayer, Beguiler. I mean, lots of blue-white, but unfortunately they're not really the blue-white that we want. In the 2-drop slot, there's an argument for just taking Vampire Slayer here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Just to be a 2-drop. That could also have upside against Vampire decks, but none of these cards are really that exciting. Another Screaming Swarm. We seem to be taking this card a lot here, and it's I think at 6 mana, it's just, if this were like a 5 mana 3/3 flyer, it would be better, but at 6 mana, this has been difficult to get down, because if you tap out for this, you're just left with a 4/4 flyer, which is good, but it's pretty easy to remove. It could come back, but that's never really come up for me, putting it back in the deck. So I think we're going to still take it here, though, as flyers is probably going to be our way to win. Another Dawnheart Geist. Seems very good. Right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to put 6 ways to put enchantments on things. So we can cast 6 enchantment spells from this. I think we're still looking for more. Don't need Officiant. Could play Syncopate. There's a Wretched Throng and Entomber. Entomber works fine in this deck if you have a lot of backsides of creatures you want to be casting, like Lantern Bearer. We have 3 of them already, which is pretty good. I think for that reason, I'm actually, we don't have a ton of removal or interaction yet. I think I'll take my first Syncopate. I think it's important to get that. So here's the first pack that we opened. Mentioned that Sanctify was the only card we could really hope to get back, and we don't even need to take it for the board here. Presence or Beguiler. I think I'll take the Presence, although it's not an ideal enchantment aura. So if we need to play it for playables, it's not the end of the world, but we could just take that one. We'll cut white, but not looking to play that card. Again, I don't think either of these are worth making the deck. Do we have a Beguiler yet? We don't. I guess I'll take Shield Basher. I'm not sure exactly if that card's going to fit well in this deck. So see if we can get lucky here with pack 3 opening anything good for our decks. We were pretty solidly in blue-white. I don't think Eruth is worth splashing in this deck necessarily. There's a Fierce Retribution and a Chill of the Grave. Got a little unlucky with the amount of blue-white cards here. Distracting Geist, 3 mana 2/1 is very rarely going to be able to attack. And Disturbing for 5 is not really ideal. So I'll go ahead and take the decent removal spell here. Another underwhelming pack. I mean, there's 6 blue or white cards in this pack, and I really don't want to play any of them. We already have one of these. We have one of these. I mean, we basically have any one of these that we want access to. So I'm just going to go ahead and rare draft here. Winged Portent. Draw a card for each flying creature you control, or we could never cleave it. So that's a nope. Heron of Hope. I mentioned I want one of those with the Traveling Minister. We only have one Minister and one Hope, though, so it's not really a combo we could hope for. There is a Twin Blade Geist, which is really good. There's a Valorous Stance, which is really good. Why can't these have been spread out over the last few packs here? I think I'm going to take Valorous Stance for interaction. You know, we just need to be able to kill some big creatures. And saving like a creature that we've enchanted with Dorothea or Catilda is of priority as well. Maybe we get lucky and wheel the Geist or the Heron. Another card I'm really interested in finding here is Cradle of Safety is a card that would go really well on this deck. Because we want to be protecting whatever we enchant Dorothea and Catilda on top of. We'll take... Oh, okay, let's see. So I didn't see the Kindly Ancestor. I think we definitely need to take the Kindly Ancestor here. One of our first 3-drop creatures, and it's a very important one for this blue-white deck. Lantern Flare. So basically for us, this would be deals X damage. So it just deals, it's 2 mana, instant speed, deals damage equal to target creature for the number of creatures we control. I think that's playable. We can't cleave it. But I think it's definitely playable interaction in our deck here. Really good pickup with Drogskol Infantry. That's another card that we hadn't seen yet in this draft, but it disturbs quite nicely. Nice little 2-drop. We'll take a Steelclad Spirit here to lock down the ground for us as well. Interesting. Okay, so Screaming Swarm number 2. Wash Away, Resistance Squad. How many humans do we have? We have 1 human, so Resistance Squad's not for us. Militia Rallier, not really for us. So it's between Wash Away and Screaming Swarm. This is basically just 3 mana counter a spell. We do have a Syncopate. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Screaming Swarm here. That's close, though. These cards don't matter. Look, nothing but blue and white came back. So we were almost assuredly in the right colors, but unfortunately it just doesn't look like a lot of great blue and white cards were necessarily opened, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and take that. Looks like we're not getting back that Heron of Hope. So that's fine. All right, so here we are at deck building. We've got 22 cards here right now, and I think they're all fine to stay. I don't think there's anything that sneaked in here that we don't necessarily want to play. Lantern Flare being maybe the one exception, but we do have 16 creatures in this deck, which is fine. So what are the other cards we could consider? Escort doesn't do much in this deck. Officiant, no. Presence, we could. Vampire Slayer, maybe. Shield Basher is just a way to get in. Supernatural Rescue is much more of an aggressive card. Fear of Death triggers our enchantment build-arounds. Geistlight Snare in this deck. I mean, we have 12 spirits and... how many enchantments? 1 enchantment, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the back. So 8 enchantments. I don't really think it... I still don't think it's worth it. Because in this deck we have so many creatures and we do have 5 instants. So let's see what they are. Valorous Stance, Lantern Flare, Fierce Retribution, Syncopate. There's one more in here somewhere. Scattered Thoughts. So holding up Geistlight Snare is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do. I think I'm fine just go ahead and adding a Shield Basher here. Just as another creature and a way to get in, you know. I would consider adding the 2-drop, but it looks like we're fine on 2-drop interaction here. We've got double Steelclad Spirit as well, which is fine. So I think that should work. Let's go ahead and add our lands back in. I think it's fine to play 17 here, and as far as the split goes, I think we can get away with doing 9 white for Catilda, because Catilda's a 3-drop, and we have a lot of 2-drop white here as well. Let's do 9-8 split and take that. Awesome. Cool, so before we get into the first round here, very much appreciate if you throw a like on this video, and go ahead and click up here to subscribe to the channel if you like the content and you want to see more of it. We need a little bit of a boost to our win percentage, and I'm convinced that by you clicking this subscribe button up here, it can do nothing but improve our win percentage directly. That's exactly what clicking subscribe does, in case you don't know. So go ahead and subscribe, boost that win percentage. Let's get us some wins today. We'll be on the draw, but it's fine hand. 2-drop. Hopefully we can draw maybe one more 2-drop or a 3-drop in here. Didn't even notice, but I really like these islands. 5-drop wasn't necessarily what I had in mind, but that'll be fine. And another Geist. Okay, so they've been given priority with double green up, which makes me think they have one of the green combat tricks like Massive Might or Witch's Web. So we'll go ahead and bluff this attack because we're not going to block with it. They called our bluff, which is fine. And then we'll go ahead and do this. So if they attack, do we block and trade the infantry for their combat trick? Probably so. They don't even do that. Okay. Which means we don't attack on the backswing now. We'll just play our Cruel Witness. Let them burn their turn, because I'm sure they were trying to hold up a combat trick in the event that we blocked. They have a 3-3. Okay, and they're still getting priority, which makes me think it's Massive Might, which would not line up well against the Witness. So we can attack with the Witness, but then we're trading this for a Massive Might, which is something I don't want to do. I do want to cast a spell on this turn, though, to not flip it tonight. We could cast Dorothea plus Geist. We could imprison the Sharpshooter and get in for 3. That seems fine, because I think flyers are the way we're going to be winning this game. It's not the most mana efficient thing to do, but you know what? I think I actually want to get Dorothea down, get in for 4 next turn after imprisoning, and then disturb on the Witness to just really go to town. Right, they're in green. They have to basically have a Wolf Strike for the Stalker. So let's play Dawnheart Geist. They're still getting priority, so it is Massive Might. So we don't need to attack into that. Maybe they're mono green, or they're just missing their second color here. It's a lot of green lands to draw before your second color. Okay, so still Massive Might up, which is unfortunate. Massive Might doesn't save them against Dorothea. So let's go to combat. This will just make it a 3-6, which doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and attack with Dorothea, and I think I want to start putting that on the Witness. Maybe next turn, because we can use Scattered Thoughts now to hit a land drop. And then we can imprison the Sharpshooter and then really go to town. Yeah, we don't want to pass because we'll flip their werewolves. So let's go ahead and do this now. Get that trigger. No, we don't need to put that in the graveyard. I think I wouldn't mind drawing at least one land. Yeah, we can take the one land plus the Screaming Swarm because next turn we can go Spirit plus no, we can go... Well, depends on what they do. But let's go ahead and definitely take a land. And I'll take the Spirit. No. Yeah, they seem to be having a lot of ground creatures. And our Screaming Swarm could technically come back if we really wanted it to. A little slowly, but it'll work. So a Wolf Strike on our Witness would not be the greatest of news for us. But I think if we can land this Dorothea's enchantment side, the Retribution. So they do have their second color now. We can land this Retribution unimpeded, then I think it could almost be game. Okay, so it looks like they're going to flip their Suitor, train their Sharpshooter. So they've still got Massive Might up, which means I don't think we are really in the business of blocking. Are we willing to trade a Dawnheartgeist for the Massive Might? I think at this point we might be. Right? We can try to bounce this, and we know they're going to Massive Might it, but it gets it out of their hand. But I'm not exactly sure. Let's delay it a turn and see if they use all their mana. We could cast the Dorothea on the Witness to really get in, because they're basically leaving themselves open if they don't play another reach creature or get rid of the Witness. So they're not. Okay. So that leaves us the window right now, and I think we have to take it. Do we want to draw that? I think we do, so I don't want to put that in the graveyard. Go ahead and get in there. None of these have reach. And then I think we'll go ahead and drop a Spirit that we can threaten to trade with. Next turn we'll have 6 mana, so we can play a Bearer, a Spirit, and an Imprisonment. Let's hope they don't get rid of the Cruel Witness here. If they do, it's going to be a little unfortunate for us. Might have to be difficult to get back from, but I think they have removal for it. I think they were waiting for us to cast that enchantment. Did they get in with everything? They just flip it. Okay. So we're going to cast 2 spells and flip it back. I think we can imprison their Sharpshooter and try to get in there with flyers. Let's try that. At this point, I think we're fine to bin the land. Probably have some sort of a braid maybe for the witness. Oh, they don't. Okay. So let's get in there then. Discarding Ballista Watchers, good news for us. That means they're digging for an answer here. Getting rid of some good cards here, but... Alright, so they go to 2. Cruel Witness is a lethal threat. We'll play a Lantern Bearer and a Spirit. And then the Lantern Bearer is lethal over the next 2 turns as well. We flip it back to day. Looks like we got there. So with green being the worst color in this set, and I think that's pretty universally known here at this point, and green being the color that has the most reach, I think blue-white is really well positioned in this format as being not only a high-performing deck and a good synergistic deck with all the disturb and enchantments, but the flyers are really able to get in. You saw they had enormous creatures on their side, and if it weren't for our flyers, we wouldn't have been able to win that game. So flyers line up very well against us in this format that I've seen so far, right? So pretty good hand here. Almost identical to our last one with Geist into Witness. We're probably going to play Spirit on 2, though. Just to shore up the ground here. Ah, drew that out of order. So I think what I'm going to do is play the Witness and hold up Syncopate. Or play the Minister and hold up Syncopate rather than the Geist. This also gets some life gain going for us. So we can Syncopate for 1. They didn't have a play, and I think they're not going to have a play till 4 drops, so that's exactly what I predicted. We'll go ahead and counter that. We'll just drop our Cruel Witness here, and I think rather than gaining a life, we'll just get in for 1. Yeah, so the reason I made that play last turn is because they passed with 3 mana and had no priority at all. Which made me think they had no cards prior to 4 drop in their hand. They probably just top decked this one. So I left up 2 mana with Syncopate there to Syncopate for X equals 1 because I was almost sure they were going to drop a 4 drop on that next turn. So let's go ahead and get in there with the Witness. And then we'll just go ahead and play another Flyer. So we're hitting for 7 a turn here now. We don't need to let them draw a card. And that's just a random 3/3. Okay, so... Alright, they just probably don't have answers to the Flyers again. All right, so we're on the draw here. We obviously need an island. Lantern Flare is a 2-drop, but doesn't do much unless we draw island. Can't cast this. This doesn't draw us out of it unless we get the island, so I don't know. This is really, really close, but I don't think we can keep this because if we don't draw an island, this hand does literal nothing. And this is a lot better. So we'll keep this. Getting rid of Retribution or Lantern Flare? I think we'll get rid of Lantern Flare. It's a little bit more situational. Really good draw there. Play Dawn Heartgeist here, and we'll gain a life. Still can't have any attacks, but... Oops. Okay, so... They're gonna fight us with our own poison here with flyers. Wait, let's go ahead and use Valorous Stance to save the Ancestor from the Scorpion, probably. And they're gonna attack with the Witness and we can kill that. But do we really even want to do that? Problem is, the Scorpion, I mean, is really gonna hold down the fort for them for a while if we don't try to trade here now. We don't want to pass. We could pass and just kill the Weaver on upkeep, even though it'll be night. That is an option, because it'll have toughness 4 or greater. And then we can Fierce Retribution down the Witness, and then they're left with just a Scorpion and whatever else they play. But then we're out of ammo. I think I'm going to go ahead and take that line. See if they have anything to say about it. And they don't. Okay. We'll kill their flyer here and hope they don't have a great follow-up. Looks like they don't. Are we willing to trade now? I think we have to be. If they don't have anything here. Well, they have something, clearly, but... They could have that 5-mana Flash Werewolf. Which would suck if we attacked with Dawn Heartgeist as well. Yeah, they're already expressing their intent to block here. So do we get in with Geist? I don't know if it matters too much. I'm going to hold it back just to be safe. I know they're probably going to trade here, but we don't really have better options. We could give something lifelink, but we'll go ahead and play around whatever they left up there. They have their own Scob. Okay. Wouldn't mind drawing a land here to play the Swarm, and we did not. So let's just play the infantry. Do we care about flipping it tonight? I don't think we do. So they don't want to attack either. We could just play Cruel Witness. Let's see if they do anything about this. They don't. We go to combat. Nothing happens. And they're likely going to counter this because they've left up blue mana every turn. They didn't. They have nothing. Okay, I don't know what they have. Lots of lands, maybe? Still can't cast... Screaming Swarm. So we're just going to keep gaining some life. Play around Lantern Bearer. We could give Cruel Witness lifelink, especially to get a Surveil here, but it's never going to be attacking on this board, so it doesn't seem worth it. So at least we're building out our board, but not with a lot of impressive creatures, that's for sure. They look to be flooding out. Okay, so we do have Dorothea now. Let's go ahead and just gain our life. Play Dorothea and see what they do about it. Okay, so they don't have Siphon Essence. I feel like they would have done that because I believe that or a Syncopate, that would exile it. So what do they have? So they don't have a land in hand. They're passing with 4 mana up. Do they have some sort of sweeper in blue-green? I can't think of one. Yeah, let's... I don't think we're attacking with Dorothea here. So let's just gain our life. Play a Screaming Swarm and see if they counter it. They don't. I can't think of a sweeper in blue-green. Okay, so they have Wolf Strike. That's alright. Spore Crawler. Alright, now I think it's time we get in. Just need to imprison the Scob here. No, I'll take that. There's a chance they have removal, so let's put this on the Witness here. They could very possibly have removal, but you know, we'll still keep that on top. This can still attack now. Let's go ahead and give if we give the Geist +1/+0, we can attack with everything, which I think is fine. We're at 37. I don't think we're at a risk of being raced. Okay, so they tap the Witness. That's fine. And let's get in there. Okay, so they're going to eat our Geist with the Lantern Bearer. That's fine to get that combat trick out of their hand. Sacrifice that. Goes back today, and now you keep flooding out. Don't think I want to play Dorothea into open mana here, so let's just try to get in there with the infantry. Oh, God. That's no fun. Do we want to put that into our graveyard? So we're not drawing any cards because they're gonna bounce our Scattered Thoughts here. Well, actually, no, because that was cast first. So, jeez. That's what they were holding this whole time, just waiting for us to go into it. Okay. I think we can put that into our graveyard. I don't think we need that necessarily. Let's take the Lantern Bearer. And at this point, I don't even know if Syncopate's doing anything. I guess we'll take it. We can't counter the Hullbreaker, so we'll let them eat our infantry. And then we'll cast another Lantern Bearer, I guess. And hope they don't keep bouncing all our creatures to infinity. Looks like they will. Alright. Hopefully the Hullbreaker Horror doesn't destroy us too much here. So every time they cast a spell, we have our Witness return to our hand. Yeah, let's just take 7. We really can't be putting these on anything because they're just going to bounce whatever we put it on. So yeah, let's try to get in there with the Lantern Bearer. No, we can't do that because they're just going to give their Hullbreaker Horror flying. Oh, this is a miserable experience to play around. Let's let's just be mana efficient and have it bounce to our hand. No attacks. Maybe we can mill them out with Screaming Swarm. Looks like they have another Wolf Strike. Oh, a main deck Crushing Canopy, okay. It's nice and convenient. Yeah, so Hullbreaker Horror just basically destroying us. And there's another 6/6 that gains them 8 life. They bounce another creature. And we were at 37, they were at 11. And it looks like it'll do it for this one. Welcome to Innistrad Crimson Vow, folks. Yeah, there's nothing we can do against that. Like, why do cards like this need to be printed? As soon as they play it, we can't play Magic anymore. Like, everything we do gets negated. So why is that a thing? And horror can't even be countered. So, like, what do you do against it? Even if you target it with a removal spell, as long as they have any instant, they can just bounce it to their hand and then play it again. So, yeah. Alright, so they go first. We have no white, but at least we have a play here, and any land lets us play the Witness, so this, both spirits, they're on red. Geist or Spirit first? Which would I rather die? Against a red deck, I'd probably rather have Geist die, so I can lock down the battlefield with Spirit here. They play a 2/3. We could play a 2/2 Flying Lifelink. Sure. Pro Vampires. Hopefully they don't have the removal for it. They drew green, so they likely do. but I feel like if they had the removal, they would have shot it off already. So maybe they don't. No blocks. Oh, goodness. I've lost to that card way too many times to... Okay, so see if we can work our way around another bomb rare here. Okay, so they don't have a splash, which is at least good news for us. We don't need to block. So they'll kill the Catilda. Hopefully they don't kill the Witness. So do we just go for the backside on the Witness? If we do and they blow us out, then we get destroyed. They didn't have it earlier though. They had 2 mana. I played a creature. They didn't get priority. They had 2 red mana. So let's go for it. Okay, good. Do we want to put that in the graveyard? Interesting. I think we do. Yeah, let's put that in the graveyard. Okay, so have to have the Witness survive here now. That's kind of our road to victory. One, two, three. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So once they get to 13, they can deal 7 to something. So if we do this plus this, what does this give? Number of permanents you control that are spirits or enchantments. So if we give it this and then imprison something, we'll be attacking for 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Seems like Xaxes to me. We don't need to put that in there. We'll go ahead and imprison this, because if we do, we're attacking for 7, 8. Yeah, we're attacking for exactly 12. So. And there we go. Or 13, I guess, because it makes a spirit. Forgot about that. That's fine. Well, at least we were able to use our own bomb rare there. So that's nice. Shaman didn't get to the point where it took over the game like it has before against me. Good hand here, Traveling Minister into Spirit. Yeah, I think we'll still start with Minister to get that life gain train going. Alright. Yeah, we'll still go Spirit because it has good blocks against the Recluse. Next turn we can play Lantern Bearer plus Infantry. Ay, ay, ay. It's an ugly one. I think what I'd rather do now is play Lantern Bearer, leave up Fierce Retribution in case they try to remove our bear and attack. Yeah, this is a really good card here. It's kind of unassuming, but it just does work, right? Are they going to use it? Try to transform their recluse. Looks like they might. Found that land, play the Doom Dissenter, and they don't get in. Okay, and they transform it. Okay. So we'll miss a land drop. This can't block, but we don't really want to be taking damage from this, so I don't think we can afford to leave up Retribution anymore. So let's gain a life and play Spirit. And hold back the Lantern Bearer to block. Hopefully they don't have Flame Blessed Bolt for our Lantern Bearer. Okay, so do we jump now? I think we do. Yeah, let's do that. Now we can hold up Fierce Retribution on our turn. Yeah, we can't play any of our 2 drops or anything because we need to be killing this basically right now. We could just return it with Blood Fountain, but we need to get rid of it. So let's block here and kill that one. They'd likely have some sort of trick or not. Okay, so they're going to get another flyer if we choose not to. Are we going to sacrifice? I don't think we're going to sacrifice. We'll just go ahead and give them a 5/3 flyer. We can trade with our Heron Blessed Geist next turn. If we draw land. Other option is we Lantern Bearer the Spirit, but that can never really be getting in there. They don't have the blood to return the forebear right now. Are they getting priority? They are, but this could just be the wedding. Let's do this. I think we'll decline to sacrifice and give them a 5/3 flyer. And we'll see what they do here. We have decent attacks on the backswing if they want to try to hit us because we're gaining life every turn. They can return Dissenter and Forebearer. Oh god, that's not good. Doesn't line up super well on our for us or for them on this board necessarily. So what I want to do here yeah, they can get the Harvester back now, which is not going to be great for us. But let's go ahead and get in there with these two. Doubt they'll block. And then if we play the Geist, unless they have another way, draw another way to make a blood token next turn, they won't be able to interact with our Heron Blessed Geist. They might just crack their fountain right now. Looks like they will. Okay. They could have gotten back a lot worse than that. Okay, so they're going to exile the Screaming Swarm out of our hand, which is not great news for us. I think we snap block on the invader here if they want to go for that. So they're going to gain lifelink. Okay. That's a good draw for us. We can Lantern Bear the infantry and then have 2/3/3 flyers that are getting in, and then Lantern Flare probably the invader on the backswing. Yeah, this also lets the infantry get out of Harvester range, which can only work as a sorcery, at least for now. Let's give this flying. Gain 2 life. That can attack. I don't think we want to attack with it. We'll go ahead and get in there for 7. Probably kill the invader with the Lantern Flare, I think. But we'll see what they draw here. Okay, so they just want to get rid of the Minister. Okay, so we can still deal 4 damage if the Minister dies. It's fine. And now they're down to a 3/3 flyer. Getting rid of their blood. I think we'll go ahead and kill their flyer. So they drew an instant of some sort. All right, here we go, riding on the back of the flyers. Let's see if they can carry us. Okay, so they'll braid that one. And I think we can infantry on top of the Heron Blessed Geist. Well, problem is if they draw a removal spell for that, then we're in a really bad situation here. We could put it on the Spirit, but we're trying to be aggressive. Yeah, let's just make them top deck an answer here. We've got to find an answer in their top card. Otherwise, we're going to be hitting them for 5 in the air. I'm fine attempting to trade here, because this doesn't look like it'll be attacking too much. Okay, so this can protect our Geist now, which is great. Unless they play Bleed Dry. Which doesn't look like they have. Looks like they have another land in hand. I don't think we need to block here. Let's get in. Play our Lantern Bear and then pass. Hopefully no Bleed Dry from them, and looks like not. Again, flying to the victory. Really good hand. We'll keep it. Minister or Lantern Bearer? I think I'll go with Minister first. I think we want to put Lantern Bearer down. Well, now there's the interest of being mana efficient here. This can just start poking in for damage, but this can be mana efficient. But next turn, what are we doing? We still can only cast one. If we cast the Spirit now, next turn we can cast Geist and Lantern Bearer, which is good. Delays the attack one turn by Lantern Bearer, but I think that's the most mana efficient thing to do here. Yeah, let's just do that, and I think we can... Probably should have attacked last turn rather than gain a life, but hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. Okay. Am I fine just dropping Catilda? Probably. Yeah, they seem to be a little bit choked on mana, although this does help them, so let's go ahead and just drop a 4/4 flying lifelink and see if they can deal with it. And even if they can't, we can put it on the back of something. So green, black. Gonna pass. We can hold up Syncopate here. If they try to remove this. Looks like they might. So we can Syncopate for 3. Perfect. Hopefully they don't have another one. But again, even if they do, we can just put it on the back of Dawnhardgeist and go to town. Okay, that kind of stops our Lantern Bearer, but should be alright. Hopefully no bleed dry. Looks like they do have exactly bleed dry. Alright, so now at this point it looks like it's going to be a little hard to start pushing damage through here. We just got our Catilda exiled, which is not good news for us. So let's see what we can find here. I'll take the 2 spells. Let's... We don't have good attacks no matter what we do here, so just let that happen there. And see if we can top deck some flyers, even though they have the sharpshooter is the problem. That bleed dry on the Catilda was a big game. And they very likely top decked it too, because they originally went for Hero's Downfall, which just destroys, which would have put it in our graveyard. But then they top decked a bleed dry to get out of it. So let's fight our way through here. They have a 6/6. It gains them 5 life. All their creatures are going to have vigilance here soon. still can't attack, but we'll go ahead and get in with the witness. Yikes. And there's the kicker. Jeez, dude. Okay. And they have vigilance, so we're getting attacked for like 30. So we'll definitely chump. Probably chump here and then trade. Take 11 still. Man, that got ugly quick, didn't it? Cannot quite be mana efficient here. They have a 4/7 with reach that we can't get rid of unless they attack with it, when we'd rather be killing this. This is about the best green-black curve I think I've seen in this entire format so far. We're playing too much small ball here. So yeah, let's just play this. And plan to kill, I don't even know what. Okay, so they're playing around Fierce Retribution. I think we just have to try to kill the sharpshooter though and see if it resolves. So next turn we can chump with this and then put a lifelink on that for 3 and yeah, we could put that in the graveyard. So let's chump and take 11 again. This card is ridiculous. Maybe I need to be moving that up in my pick order here. Okay, let's play a Geist and maybe an Infantry to get it up to a 5. Nothing has a reach, does it? No. Yes. We're probably going to have to be doing some chumping here, but we have to try to race in some form or fashion. Okay, so we'll chump for 6, and this would be 11. So right now we're taking 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I guess that answers our question. And that'll probably do it. Alright, hopefully we can rally here after getting smacked around by big butts. I'm not sure their deck could have had a better curve than the one they just did. That seemed like the absolute ideal curve they could have possibly had. Dealing with our Catilda with Exile too basically won them the game. Had they not been able to do that, we could have put it on the Witness and gained a ton of life. And had it get plus X and all sorts of things. So. All right, well, we need a blue, but can't mulligan this. I'll go ahead and get in for one rather than gain a life here. Okay. So we can cast Lantern Flare for X equals 2. Don't think we need to be doing that on the Minister just yet, but we might have to start firing that off if we keep missing blue. That's something we'll need to go ahead and get rid of. And there's our blue. So let's play... I think we'll play the Lantern Bearer. I know it's not quite as mana efficient, but the Minister works better with the Bearer. And then they instantly just get the 6 mana combo going where we can't attack into that anymore. So we'll just do all that we can here. So see, if they use this on the Heron of Hope, they're going to gain 2 life to 20, and then if they attack with it and give it lifelink, they'll gain 4 more life, up to 24. They didn't give it lifelink though, so... Okay. I think we just have to be mana efficient here and get in with the Screaming Swarm. Hopefully they don't remove it. Playing very similar decks here. They're gaining 2 a turn, though. We're gaining 1. Interesting. Yeah. Think we're just gonna go ahead and do that. We can give the Spirit flying? Which I think we will do. I think we'll go ahead and get in with it too. We could get in with the Swarm, but do we want to do that? I mean, basically they would trade with our own Swarm and take 5 probably. I think that's fine. Do we mill them or us? Dangerous milling blue-white, but looks like we got away with it. They just take it all, okay. It's kind of scary. Okay. don't think that'll do it, at least not right now. Can't quite tap that yet. Okay, so do we get in with Catilda? They're just going to trade it for the Swarm. But otherwise, they're just going to be tapping it every turn. So. Let's give it... Yeah, let's... They're very likely to just trade this off, but... Two really good mills for us there. Interesting decision. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and... We don't need to play the land. We'll just put this 2 from the top. Their end step, we can bluff having something here. Okay, getting pretty aggro. Look like they want to get in with the Heron of Hope combo that we were talking about and train up their Griff Rider. I guess they realize that they need to start getting in for damage here. What do they have on the... I guess they don't have anything on the turnaround. So I'll just go ahead and try to get in there, and hopefully they don't have anything to say about it. Yeah, so if they want to keep doing this, we're just kind of going back and forth here. They're just going to attack this on... They just have to use so much more mana than me. That's their whole turn. I can still keep developing my board. And then there's the end of it, so... Yep. And we can't get the backside of this either unless we somehow sacrifice, which I don't think we will be doing. So they left themselves open enough to the point where we can mill their Screaming Swarm now, which is good news for us. $25 to $20. Might come down to this Screaming Swarm staying alive and milling them out, to be honest. Oh, geez, yeah, okay, this is looking to be a little bit of a grindy fight here. I think we have a single Imprisonment in our deck, but maybe a Lantern Flare. No, we've already used that. They do have their own swarm as well, but we can kind of set up a situation where we keep milling it. So we don't want to attack with ours. So we do have the Imprisonment here. I think we need to get rid of the Heron of Hope. Or maybe their own Screaming Swarm if they decide to try to play it. see if they try to tap the Screaming Swarm in response to this. Okay, so they don't tap it. Do we just attack with it then? I think we do. I mean, they trade for Heron of Hope and Griff Rider if we do, and we can still put it on top if we wanted. Or put it second from the top. So they're going to do that now to guarantee they draw it. So we're going to save Imprisonment for their Screaming Swarm, which is fine. And then we'll exile it next turn. So we're going to play this land so that we'll have the mana to do that. Although with this combo happening, it's... now they're gaining 8 a turn, 9, 10? I don't even know. It's getting a little ugly. Let's just do this now, and so that we can keep winning this mill race, I think we unfortunately have to exile this now. We can attack, but they're attacking us back for 8 and gaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. If they want to use their mana that way, which all they have to do is spend 2, so I don't think we can attack. Really close game here. Unfortunately, our Catilda's kind of locked up. I think we have a Dorothea that I'm not even sure could get us out of this necessarily. More lifelink. I feel like we've done about 50 damage to them already this game. Okay, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we can find. I'll take this and this into my hand. Let's go ahead and pump this. So we're still winning the mill battle, but the Cruel Witness could change that math with how many times we could surveil, but let's play the flyer here. I think we're going to keep this for the blood token. See what they tap down. Sure. I mean, on this board, I'm not really sure there's anything we necessarily need to be retributioning. I think our plan might just be to mill them out, because we're both gaining a decent bit of life here. I mean, I have the Geist for all these disturbed creatures that'll keep coming back, ideally, so they'll be gaining a ton of life, but we're kind of conceding to the fact that I think we have to try to mill them out with Screaming Swarm. At some point, we can just attack with like 8 creatures, and they're effectively at 8 cards in deck if they don't kill the Screaming Swarm. Or exile it. They might have to have another imprisonment, maybe. So are they going to get aggro and tap that? Looks like they will. Or at least think about it. I'm not sure there's any way we could get this Catilda out from under the imprisonment, unfortunately. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, that's not good. That changes the math quite a bit. Wow, so we're going to take 17, effectively, if we don't chump the Ancestor here. Yeah, I guess you got me on that. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do this, hold up Retribution, and use the blood token. Sure. Let's gain a life here. We can hold up the Retribution on probably the Griff Rider at this point. That's the thing that keeps threatening to attack us for the most. They can keep gaining life, but we have a lot of decent plays on the back here, right? We can even exile this if this dies. Okay, so they'll make more flyers. Looks like they won't be attacking. Yeah, so at this point we're completely riding on the back of Screaming Swarm. So we have to protect that at all cost. Not an awful draw there. Go ahead and gain a life. Play a land. I think we want to infantry probably the Cruel Witness. No, I think we find a draw a 4-drop here. No need to attack again because we're just trying. So right now we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 on a decent turn to mill them for. Okay. Still holding up Retribution and Syncopate here. I do forget you can just cast this for 6, but we want to keep developing our board. Looks like they won't be attacking again. Gain our life now. No attacks. So even if nothing else happens, they're decking before us here. We do have Syncopate back up here in case something goes wrong. Okay, so this is going to make a spirit, and then it gets 1/1 until +1/+1 whenever a creature enters the battlefield. So I think we can go ahead and plan on Fierce Retributioning that if they try to attack with it. Because now they're just going to try to overwhelm us with some flyers here with the wizard. But again, we're just, I mean, they're effectively right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're at 6 cards in deck almost. Really grindy game here. No attacks. Almost forgot to use their ministers. Alright, we'll play another 3-drop. Now we can at least cleave this, but I think we want to be holding up Syncopate more than that. Yeah, we have no reason to want to attack them, so we'll just pass. We're not winning on damage at this point. So I think our Syncopate has to save the Screaming Swarm if they ever try to do anything to it. They're really looking for a way out of this here. No attacks. We'll hold up Syncopate. Let's gain our life. Play another creature. Go to combat, see what they tap. Looks like they'll tap on end step. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right now we can mill them for 8, maybe 7 if the Beguiler taps something. Okay, so they're making another one. And we don't want to syncopate that because our Screaming Swarm is the most important here. So we'll let that happen. Now we can mill them for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another flyer. Okay, let's hope these don't overwhelm us. We do still have 3 flyers, but one of them is constantly being tapped down. I think we're going to go ahead and Retribution the Rider here. Oh my gosh, okay, another flyer. Okay, hope we can outrace this. Unfortunately, they're going to get aggro. Tap down our Spirit, our Geist, okay. Okay, so they're going to get in with the Rider probably. We'll go ahead and kill that. Hold up Syncopate. Play another flyer. And no attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can mill them for. Getting close here. That shouldn't matter. Don't think there's... maybe just for Syncopate mana we can play the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough, so no attacks. Okay. I think we'll gladly chump with the Lantern Bearer here. It'll gain us 4 life next turn as well. So they're pumping the Wanderlight Spirit, getting in with just that. Do we even need to? I mean, I'd rather save my creature for the Swarm. Yeah, I don't think we need to. They're going to just attack with 1. I thought they were going to attack with everything. Or at least all their flyers. We'll keep drawing lands here. Right now we can get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we could have gotten in with the Minister, but they would have tapped. Oh no, they couldn't have. Okay, hopefully we didn't just miss lethal. So we can mill for 8 now. So even if they tap down one of our creatures, we can still mill for 7 and get them to 0. Unless they attack all, which they might. Okay, they didn't. Okay, so theoretically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even if they tap down a creature, we can get in for 7. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot if they have that card that shuffles cards back into their library. That would be... At least we can syncopate that, though. So, see if they tap something down. They do. We can still get in for 7. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And 7. Screaming Swarm mills them. Yeah. Okay. Theoretically, they don't have anything, and if they do, we can just counter it. They're acting like they have something here. Sure, go to damage. Okay, that doesn't matter. And end turn. Okay, it looks like we got there. So at some point in that game, it's important to notice when they have that life gain combo going, at what point you need to switch to deck damage. Because I think it's once we drew that Syncopate, we had backup for our Screaming Swarm, and I think that's the way we were going to win that game. We were never going to outrace them with as much life as they were gaining each turn, so we had to figure out a different way. And I think the Screaming Swarm was the way to do that game. So, really good, tight game. Bit of a long one, but it's all right. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 6, but we are going first. Wow. Gosh. This has the potential to be ugly. Forgot we had 2 of these. Man. I don't think we can keep this. I think that's better. We'll get rid of that card there. Yeah, that first hand just had too much risk to it, unfortunately. So, I mean, if we didn't draw another land, ideally we could be casting cheaper spells, but our hand was basically a mulligan if we didn't. Okay, we don't have much here, so... Yuck. Guess we'll just go ahead and play our Cruel Witness. Alright. Let's go ahead and bluff attack with Cruel Witness. I don't think... It may not even be a bluff, because we could just Lantern Flare down the Rune of Stromkirk, but... Don't know if that's something we want to do. So they're just going to go ahead and call it, which I think is fine. Let's... Yeah, let's just play our Catilda. Really hoping they don't have Bleed Dry again. But I don't think... Runo is basically just a 1/4 flyer at this point. If they top deck a 6-drop, then it gets really out of hand. But I think I'm willing to risk that for at least a turn. No need to block here. Looks like they had the Bleed Dry as always. I will play the Minister. They didn't call it last turn, so I don't expect them to call it again this turn, but... Yeah. It's fine. Don't think we were blocking with it anyway, so... So we could have this basically trade for a Traveling Minister? Is that worth it? No, because we can start getting in with Cruel Witness on the backswing. And then just Fierce Retribution it down next turn if we really need to. Okay, so they're just sacrificing the 2-drop to draw a card. Okay, let's go to my turn. Top deck another land. So unfortunately, we might have to start getting rid of some of these assistants here. As much as I don't really want to, I think I'm actually going to do this now in the event of like a counter spell or something. Put that into my graveyard. No. I'll keep it. Yeah, so to play around that Bleed Dry, I mean, we haven't had another creature, so what are we going to do? Just hold our Catilda in the event that they might maybe have a Bleed Dry? No, I think we just have to play it out. And then just let it get exposed to Bleed Dry, unfortunately. So we know they don't have an instant, so yeah, they're gonna sack something again. Gosh, all these assistants here. Let's go ahead and try to get in. If they block, we can Retribution down one of the creatures and get a 2-for-1. They do, so we'll just go ahead and cleave this and kill that one. Put that into my graveyard. I think I will, so we can give the witness lifelink. Still taking 6 here, and hopefully they don't remove the witness. Still no instant. Screaming Swarm. Okay. Should be alright. I think we can imprison that. So let's do that. Put that in your graveyard. Decline. Go ahead and give this lifelink. Again, decline. +1, and we won't be blocking, so let's get in. Gonna get back a Bleed Dry here, very likely, which will not protect us. Its Valorous Stance will not protect us from, unfortunately, so we get one more hit in with the Witness. So let's just go ahead and do that. We'll pass, and I think we'll go ahead and block here. I think I'll let that happen. Don't need to give it indestructible necessarily. And we expected that, so. Yep. Can't save it with Valorous Stance because indestructible doesn't protect against that. That's not great news for us, although we did draw Dorothea, which is good. Let's go ahead, and I think we can actually get in there with the Geist now. We have good attack here. They're going to have to attack with the Farmer no matter what to not die to Dorothea. They drew Screaming Swarm, which we can just Valorous Stance. So let's see. They have to get in with Farmer, I think. We can block, and the next turn put that on Geist and win? No, we'd have to put that on... Yeah, we'd have to put that on Geist. Okay, let's go to blockers. So we'll do this, and then next turn we pay 3, we put this on Geist. It attacks for 5, plus 1 is 6. And they'll be at exactly 6. We'll kill their Screaming Swarm with the Valorous Stance. Sure. There's the Screaming Swarm. We'll go ahead and kill it. And that should do it. There we go. Lots of value from that exploit deck there. They had the Bleed Dry for Arcatilda right the exact right time. But we're able to power right there, right through it. So, one more. Win or lose. Here we go. Looks good to me. Yeah, both of our rares would love to draw a plains to get that down on turn 3. Yeah, it's not a plains. We'll go ahead and get in for 1 rather than gain a life. Am I willing to trade? Yeah, probably so. Could also just give it indestructible, but I don't think we need to do that. Oh, they're not even willing to. Okay, let's play Dorothea then. Okay. We'll get in here. They don't seem to have anything. Maybe they left up a counterspell for our Lantern Bearer? Okay, that's fine. Resolves. Now, do we play into it, or just make them burn their mana? I think I'm actually willing to play into it, because if it's Syncopate, that's a bit unfortunate, but if it's Siphon Essence, it doesn't exile. But otherwise, we're literally doing nothing with our turn either, so let's let them have their moment here. Well, they didn't even... It looks like they chose not to counter it. Or just didn't have anything. Okay. Let's go ahead and give this +1. Get in there. Yeah, I think we'll just drop a 4-drop. Fortunately, if we want to play Catilda and leave up Valorant's Stance to give an indestructible, we have to draw 2 white mana between now and then, which is not easy to do. So that's a bit unfortunate. But if we draw the white, I'm going to be hard-pressed to not just play it again. I mean, I think they have a lot of things on this board that they need to deal with. Okay, so that kind of stops our Lantern Bearer, unfortunately. But we can still get in with Dorothea, and they really haven't proved that they might have an answer if we try to go for the equip on it. So we can get in with infantry for sure. So I think we'll definitely do that. And do we attack with Dorothea or not? Could also Drogskull infantry this, but then we can't leave up Valorous Stance. But we're attacking for 7, and they would have to double block to get rid of it. You know what? Let's just get in with both of these creatures. I think I will attack with Dorothea here, because we can have it backed up with Valorous Stance to save it if we go for it, if we draw a land next turn. Specifically a white, I guess. So they're just going to chump. Alright. And we'll end the turn. think I'm going to go ahead and unplug my microphone here so my Mac doesn't die on me. So you might be wondering how we got here. To understand that, we need to go back further. No, I'm just kidding. So unfortunately, when Macs are low on battery, it looks like they just cut off the recording. So I've lost the last bit of the recording here. Good news is we went ahead and won this game. So basically we kind of just traded off 1-for-1 for them, or with them, for the rest of the game. They eventually removed our Shield Basher, but not before chumping a few times with some of these flyers. They removed all of our creatures. We removed all of theirs. It was basically a top deck war, but we had all of our Disturb enchantments in the graveyard. We top decked a creature. We put Drogskull Armory on top of it. They were unable to remove it. We put Dorothea on top of that and swung in for lethal. So, unfortunately, I don't have proof that we got the trophy here, but I'm going to go ahead and hope that you guys trust me on that and update the record to reflect it as such. Yeah, so a bit of an unfortunate series of events there for me, but I'm here to let you know that all is well and good in the world and the fact that we got our trophy and went 7-2. So, thanks for sticking around this long, if you have. I know it's a long video, but hope you're rewarded with a nice little trophy here. Looks like that'll do it for today's video. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow for your daily draft.